Good afternoon. Thank you everyone for coming out today. Today is a monumental day right here at U.S. Steel, where the shareholders are actually having a vote for the sale of U.S. Steel. I myself, the Mayor Nicole Nesby, during my tenure as mayor in the city of McCain, I had an opportunity to witness firsthand the harmful effects of air quality and poor air and water quality in the Mon Valley. As the daughter of a steel worker, both my parents worked steel mills. My father was in the homestead work, and my mother was in the blast furnace over in the city of McCain. Over the years, we have watched decades of individuals in our community who have had long-standing respiration issues, asthma, eczema throughout our community. Over the decades, these have been ignored, and today we are demanding a seat at the table. We deserve to be heard, our voice needs to be heard, and what we don't want is the sale of U.S. Steel to negate all the harm that has been caused to the 22 communities along the Montgomery River. I ask you today to join and stand with me in solidarity as we demand a seat at the table. We demand to be heard. I am your Emcee for today. I also am the environmental justice organizer for 412 Justice. At 412 Justice, we educate and we empower folks that are impacted by education, economic, and environmental issues. We move people into power. We make policy changes that impact everyday people. And we must have a seat at the table. So today we're going to try to get something to eat. We're going to stay dry. And next, our first speaker today is Pomaj.
Chief Pomaj. Oh, Qiyam! Came out of nowhere.
Hello everyone. My name is Qiyam Ansari. I am the president of Pollute, a grassroots community group that got started in 2019. Since 2019, we have been able to distribute, thankfully, 438 air filters to local Mon Valley communities. This became a priority shortly after the 2019 fire. A lot of you remember there was a breakdown here in the Mon Valley. We were not notified for weeks. A lot of our members suffered from health effects. We decided to take some action. After the 2019 fire, U.S. Steel came out and said, after the sea here, we're going to invest $8.5 billion to ensure that the Mon Valley community and the Mon Valley works is up to date. We also electric facility. This facility will ensure residents' health and
greet everyone in the words, in the language of my ancestors, because it's very important that we understand colonization still continues on the lands of American soil. And the Kek Alaka'i divided me on divided you. I stand here in solidarity with all of the people who suffered tremendously because it's very familiar to me. Colonization has ended lives of my people systematically through the poisoning of our water, the poisoning of our air, the poisoning of our soil. And everyone on this land experiences the same injustices. So we stand together to enforce not only having a seat at the table, but transparency. We want to know what it is that you're doing. What are your intentions? What are you planning? What is the outcome of this sale? How is it going to affect the people? So a seat at the table is demanded. And I will say, we as the Aboriginal American Indians, the indigenous people of this land, who still have treaty rights in this area, the Delaware Strait, the Delaware territory includes New York, New Jersey, Ohio, Virginia, and Pennsylvania. And so these companies have an obligation. They have an obligation in law to be transparent. So if they're transparent with my people, the Aboriginal Americans, they're transparent with all of the people because we stand in solidarity with everyone who is ill affected by their decisions. Commerce has been their goal. Commercialism has always been their goal. Capitalism is their God. It's not ours. We stand as the people united. It is our right to breathe clean air. Before colonization, our airs were clean. Our waters were pure. This land, this soil that we grow our food was pristine. And these companies like the U.S. Steel Company and others do not take into consideration the harmful effects that they are doing to the land, the air, the water, people, because they're profits over people. And I say, ending profits over people is my motto. No more profits over people. People over profits. They owe us. People over profits. They owe us. And I am with the America's environmental law protection. And that law stands for land, air, and water. And I leave you with this. When I speak law, and when you speak law, land is the law. Air is the law. And water is the law. Anytime they break the law by poisoning the air, the water, and the land, there's consequences. I'm going to stand in solidarity with you all, stand in solidarity with me, because our nations are enforcing our treaty rights for full disclosure to these companies. They must open their books, show us their plan, and allow the residents that are in these communities who are most adversely affected make decisions on what they see as the brighter future, working in tandem with this new company. Foreign entities come over here all the time. Their interests aren't the people. Their interest is capitalism.
Thank you, Chief. Again, what we want is we want people over profit. Yes, we're going to do something to call on our legislators too, because it is election year, and we want them to be accountable as well to the people that put them in office. They owe us that. You are certainly correct, Ms. Sandy. Next, we will have Dr. Campbell for GASP.
Good afternoon. I'm Patrick Campbell. I'm the Executive Director of the Group Against Smog and Pollution, or GASP. We've been a nonprofit watchdog organization working to improve racial air quality since 1969. And it's so heartening to see all of our neighbors here bringing their own seats to the proverbial decision-making table. The potential sale of United States Steel Corporation to Japan-based Nippon Steel has been in the international spotlight for months now. It's been fodder for news outlets, trade associations, business analysts, and politicians. But every international story has hyper-local impacts. Just ask some of the folks here today. Many of whom are our neighbors living in the shadow of U.S. Steel's Mon Valley works facilities. They have worked for decades to hold the steelmaking giant accountable for the way its operations have fouled our air and marred our sky. And that work continues today. So far this year, our local air quality regulators have already issued more than $2 million in civil penalties to U.S. Steel for emission-related violations in the Mon Valley. And the company has continues to fight those enforcement actions through its army of corporate high-paid attorneys. It's been well documented in court cases and media coverage that U.S. Steel has long maintained a don't buy, get by mentality that favored band-aid fixes at the Mon Valley works to major operational upgrades. It's been well documented, at nearly every turn here in Allegheny County, U.S. Steel has fought our health department's attempts to get the Mon Valley works back into compliance with air quality rules. Meanwhile, U.S. Steel held themselves up as consummate good neighbors in slick public relations campaigns and through strategic partnerships. And we are here today to tell U.S. Steel or Nippon Steel that any change in ownership needs to come with a change in company culture, one that truly prioritizes public health. Because at the epicenter of this potential multi-billion-dollar deal is a community of people who deserve better than what U.S. Steel has given them. At the center of this deal is a community with higher than average cancer risk and spiking childhood asthma rates that, thanks to our region's chronic air problems. At the center, at the heart of this deal are actual human beings who have suffered actual environmental harms because of U.S. Steel's history of non-compliance with air quality rules. And we're here today to let those shareholders know that no matter who is at the helm of this company, residents, organizations, GASP will be watching and ready to use all of our resources to hold polluters accountable. To let them know that we will continue to fight with and for our neighbors in the Mon Valley and a clean air future for our region. Thank you.
We need a change. We need new leadership. We need to be included. We need to have a seat at the table. As a matter of fact, we demand a seat at the table. These are our communities. Our voice needs to be heard. Next, I'd like to introduce Fawn Walker-Montgomery. Fawn has been at this battle 10 years anniversary. Congratulations.
Woo! Fawn!
Hello everyone. So I'm here with Take Action Advocacy Group, formerly known as Take Action Mon Valley. So my organization literally exists because the Mon Valley was primarily left out of everything. So it warms my heart that you all are here for us and that you all are naming us. A lot of people don't name the Mon Valley. They like to say, oh, we say Pittsburgh, that's what we mean. No, you gotta name us. Because that recognizes our pain and all of the hell that we have been through. So thank you, 2412 Justice, for constantly recognizing us. So when I was first contacted to speak about this, I've been speaking a lot lately about climate change and about the climate cost. And the majority of the conversations have been about the billions of dollars for climate change. However, my brain goes to what does it cost the people? What does it cost them? So climate change affects everyone. But I would say it starts off with Black people and other marginalized groups in the community. And this is why we're starting to call environmental justice the new change. So how does this show up for people like myself? So I grew up for my entire life. In the Mon Valley area. So how this shows up is flooding, not clean air, not clean water. This shows up as people standing in one part of close to earth. Then you start to smell rotten air. It's in the same spot of the key source. I've lived in my entire life. And it smelled the same way for years. It means that you grew up with asthma. Me and my daughter both have it. I have one COVID that I can't get rid of. I know that's because of where I live at. I've never drunk the water with people. I don't hear heard me say that several times because it's true. I've never drunk the water. We've always heard about bottled water, just to drink water. This means having lead in your water and you're never really champagne. Having chemical found in your water. That means having water evaporated every year. I've never not known that. That's never not been my life. Every year there's a water evaporated. It means living and burning up in a sacrifice zone, y'all. Your community is called a sacrifice zone. And you wonder why our children are shooting? What the hell? We live in it's a sacrifice zone. So you are sacrificing my life. It means that you have to forced to work for a company that you know is killing you. Do y'all hear me? My people have had to work for a company that we know is killing us because we think that's the only option we have. Generations of families have died due to U.S. Steel. Our ancestors, blood is on their hands. These people have had to work here. They have told me to my face, there's no other option. I know that it's not good, but what the hell else am I supposed to do? The cancer rates in Clarendon and Red Off are slightly higher than that of the entire country, y'all. The country. These are people's lives we're talking about. It is time to hold everyone accountable, including U.S. Steel. And when people bring this up to U.S. Steel, they lie. They lie. They put out ads and say, no, it's good work here. We get benefits. Now we're killing you along the way, but we'll give you benefits while we're killing you. You and your family can go to the doctor while we are killing you. They're knowingly killing people. They just pivot to keep lying. And it's time that they pivot toward the people. So when I seen them flyer and it said bring a folding chair, I said we demand a seat at the table. Because if you don't give it, we bring in a folding chair. And if that don't work, we tear the damn table down and we're gonna build it back up with our folding chair and with the people in mind. I'll show you.
Thank you. And as Fawn also touched on, the water that is undrinkable. During my tenure as the mayor in the city of Duquesne, I got to see some statistics. 33% of our children have been medically diagnosed with a learning disability. In the city of Duquesne, the children's average lead levels is at 7%. The case studies coming out of Flint, Michigan say at 3% it causes permanent neurological damage. So if it's not addressed by the time the child is 5 years old, it's irreversible. And then you wonder why they're violent and they have psychological issues. I was recently contacted by May Lewis, who attended your water conference there, and she had spoken to me and she said, I had to call you on the phone and apologize to you. When my son was murdered, I came to you to talk about the violence here. And you were talking to me about the water. And I wanted to say to her, she said, I'm talking to her about children dying and she wanted to talk to me about some damn water. What the fuck is wrong with her? Is what she said to me. And the fact of the matter is, that's what we're living in. We've had decades. When I spoke with the American Lung Association yesterday, the gentleman told me that they have been aware of the problem of the Mon Valley for 10 to 15 years. So it was no. But we didn't have a voice for demanding that today. Next, I would like to thank my mayor cohort, Mayor Yajalaji over in Bell Verde. He stopped by today to say a few words in solidarity for us.
Thank you. Most of you know who I am. I'm that bear. He's that bear. The mayor's role is very hard. is in communities. Is it whether or not to take a stand on what you believe. Well, I'm one of the few that do, okay, and I'm outspoken on it. Everybody knows that I shut down a dump that was dumping 300,000 gallons of pollution in our waters. That water doesn't, people don't realize what water affects, okay? It doesn't affect my community, yes. I'm polluting my community, but I was polluting all the communities downstream. Downstream, you got your Elizabeth, your West, your Qiyam, all the way down, all the way to the city of. So, you know, where we stand today, there's not many few politicians like me out there that will take that stand and say, whoa, enough is enough. You know, I had to get a court injunction to stop it. But I said, that's it. We stopped it. But it continues. So now it's still continuing downstream. You're getting that pollution. And people realize with the U.S. Steel, you're looking at it environmentally in the air and the water pollution. With the air affects our lungs, affects everything. Well, the air goes up into the atmosphere, creates the rain. The rain comes down, goes on the plant. Everything. The pollution is carried everywhere. People don't realize it affects not Braddock, not Clareton, not just those communities. It affects all of western Pennsylvania and all our food supplies that are affecting in our farms that are in our outside lying areas. So I speak for those guys. And today is a day that you do have to have that stance with this company. I was, you know, when you don't, I get away with everything. So I'm glad to see all the organizations here that support. You know, you keep up the good work, and if I can help you, I will be there to help you. And again, thank you guys for doing one heck of a job. So stand there and get your seat, okay?
Thank you so much, man. All right. Yes. And what we do need to, again, we need to hold our elected officials accountable. We understand that they have campaigned to run, because it costs money to run. But that money is costing us our lives. And we need our elected officials to stand up and also to demand that we have a seat at the table. We actually have the White House looking at us right now. So if we have Joe Biden looking at us right now, President Biden, then we deserve that seat. We deserve and we will hold everyone accountable this and every election. We actually have here also today, that we go through this real quick. We actually have the people's vote. We have a ballot here. In case you haven't gotten one, please make sure that you do. And it is the people's vote for air, water, and health justice. Pennsylvania ballot initiative. One is the seat at the table. People versus the polluters. Who pays our air and water? Workers' rights. Workers' safety. Speaking up for PA, our kids can't breathe. And policy. Next, we're going to have Matt, the help from Project Breathe. I'm the people that's very helpful.
Thank you, Nesby. I wasn't planning on speaking today. Folks who know me, I usually come pretty prepared with a lot of detail, so today will be a little different. But thank you all for coming, and I appreciate being instead of you all today. It means a lot. For me personally, I had 3 prior generations that worked at U.S. Steel facilities. My family member experienced all the negative health effects of living in the Mon Valley. It's affected multiple generations. One of the reasons that propels me to do this work, so that can come to an end, because it's not fair, and the toxic legacy that's left needs to stop. Today, I want to send a message. So, the White House had a meeting with the Japanese Prime Minister on Wednesday. They talked about the U.S. Steel sale. This issue is at the highest levels of decision-making
of our country because of the strategic need to collaborate on geopolitical issues. And so that's very serious, and our leaders are taking it serious. But what cannot get lost in this process, and the message that needs to be sent, is it all comes down to the people who have been bearing the burdens of this industry for generations, 150 plus years, bearing the burden. And the fact that no one here has been invited to weigh in on it. And the fact that U.S. Steel has, since 2020, had to pay, or has been fined, or has agreed in consent orders to over $52 million in penalties for violations. Okay, now, what that means is they're getting called out for all of the things that they're not doing. But it hasn't stopped because they can afford to pay. The people who can stop this are the same people in the Biden administration, NEPA Administrator Reagan, who have elevated environmental justice as a core value of this administration. They are the ones who are at the table and know that we should be at the table. They're the ones that should be reaching out as part of environmental justice work to make sure that these voices are there to let people know that the situation cannot continue. It needs to come to an end. Pay to pollute is not going to continue. It needs to come to an end. Yeah. We need to stop that. The folks in East Palestine, Ohio, were informed this week that there was going to be a $600 million settlement. That sounds like a lot of money, but it's less than 5% of Norfolk Southern's revenues last year, and less than 20% of what they've earned in the first quarter of this year. They can pay it, and it breaks down to less than $1,300 per person within a 20-mile radius of Norfolk Southern, and that assumes that the entire $600 million gets distributed to the people. The lawyers are not getting the cut. We know that's not happening. That is pay to pollute again. We saw earlier this year the Shell plant paying $10 million in a settlement to the DEP and people of Beaver County for pollution violations there. That is also pay to pollute. When is it going to happen that the people who operate these companies and these facilities recognize that if they're harming people, there's a cost to them? That there is a price to pay for negligence, for damaging people's health, for damaging our water supply, and for polluting our air that leads to intergenerational harm. So the message is, we need to be at the table. The international community needs to be aware that we're paying attention to what's going on, and we are not going to just quietly accept some sort of political deal that will make us be quiet. We need to be at the table so these problems can be solved. So thank you all for standing here and for standing strong. And I look forward to the vote so that the vote happens and people know what we want. Thank you so much. Thanks.
U.S. Steel, you steal our house.
U.S. Steel, you steal our house. U.S. Steel, you steal our house. U.S. Steel. We are putting people over profits. We today are demanding a seat at the table to make decisions in our communities. We've been left away. We've been left out of the circle. We've been left away from the table. The only thing we have been left of is dying. In some of our school districts, specifically in Clairton, their children practice football less than 100 yards away from Clairton Works. And it's a shame that most of them don't care, because they're trying to come out and they're trying to move away from this situation, and that's the only outlet they see, running the ball. So we have U.S. Steel donating to so many different causes for a small buyout. We don't want your money, we want to live. We want you to finally start putting the people over the profit. We want our seat at the table. And if you see here, right here, what's missing from the seats here with this board of directors, it's being a local oncologist, a union worker, a resident from the city of Duquesne, a resident from the city of Clarendon, and someone also from the local air, water, pollution. We need an expert there too. We all need to sit at the table to make decisions in our communities. Let's hear it for the Mon Valley. Also, we have our 412 justice. We have our monthly environmental meeting online. It's virtual. It's the third Thursday every month from 6 to 7. Please make sure that you like us on any of the news media stuff